another Marvel Legends review. This is US Agent 27 from the MUCollectorClub.com forums, and today we're going to be taking a look at Hulkbuster Iron Man. Hulkbuster Iron Man is one of the Toy Biz older Marvel Legends. Forgive me, I don't remember the series off the top of my head. He's getting to be a pretty expensive figure. He runs anywhere from $25, and I've seen him as high as like $60 if you want him like mint and package. He is a big figure. He's very, very bulky. He is an extremely well-made figure, and we're going to go over all his articulation, all of his paint during the course of this, just so I can kind of give you an idea. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the review, and the first thing we're going to take a look at is the sculpt of the figure. So, Hulkbuster Iron Man is, in one word, awesome. If you don't have him in your collection, you are seriously missing out. You really should go out and get him. His sculpt is great. I mean, he's got the chest plate here. The paint is really nice. It's a gold paint. The red is a plasticky type of red. It wasn't painted in like a metallic red. I have seen some customs that have been repainted like that, and they do look great. I'm not going to do that with mine because he was a pretty expensive figure for me. I think I paid almost $40 for him, but he was definitely, I think I paid $30 for him. He was definitely well worth it. If I could find another one, I would probably, maybe another one that was cheaper that was missing a headpiece, I would repaint him. And I could just swap out the headpieces if I needed to. So, going over the figure, let's turn on his back here. This right here, this is like a gold, almost like a honeycomb pattern, and he's got it on both sides. On his arms, he's got like these almost like hockey pads or shin pads on his arms. And he has, on the knees, he has the same type of like hockey pad or shin pad patterns. And then he's also got some right down here with the gold. The rest of the figure is mostly just black, and he's got some, I'm sorry, it's red, and he's got some black lines in it to kind of help define the figure. So, I mean, overall, he is a very, very impressive looking Marvel Legend. It's definitely one of my favorites that I have. And he looks great just standing on the shelf, one position, just kind of, like that. And that's usually how I have him posed. His articulation, we're going to talk about, his articulation is lacking a little bit. And that's just because he's such a bulky figure. It's not because the figure is horrible by any means. It's just because he's a bulky figure. The head does not move. The head is going to stay just where it is. And before we go any further, if you open up the headpiece, you'll see that you have a little sweaty Tony Stark in there. And you can also see on the inside, they went so far, they detailed everything in here with like fans, knobs, and whatnot. And to me, they went the extra mile. This head is articulated. It can move side to side. I don't believe it moves back just a tad, and it moves down just a tad. So it really just moves side to side. And for a figure this size, that's really all that you need. So let me close his head back up, and the head just closes up. It's got these two little clips here, and it snaps in place. Okay, so that's the head. He doesn't have an ab crunch. Well, he kind of does. He has like a diaphragm joint, more like what we see on the Marvel Universe figures, where it can go down a little bit, it can go up a little bit. It's not that regular ab crunch like we're used to seeing. So down and up. You can turn side to side. Okay. And he has a waist swivel, like that. Okay. For his legs are on ball joints, so they can go out that far. They can go up about that far. They are hindered because they hit right about there, and then they can go back, and again they're hindered right there, about that far. So leg movement, it could be better, but because of the bulk of the figure, that's definitely forgivable. For his knees, he's got a joint right there, and it only moves about that far. So as far as his knees go, that's as much movement that you're going to get to go back. And again, that's just, because of the bulk of the figure, you're not going to be able to get him in those dynamic poses like you would say, like Deadpool, for example. Deadpool is a very articulated figure. You can get him in some really, really great poses. This figure, he has a bulky piece right here that's kind of blocking that. Okay, his feet go up, and he also has a toe joint, as I'm showing. Toe joint works very well, and can go back about that far. So again, his feet are not the most articulated, and there is ankle pivot though. So ankle pivot does help when you're trying to pose the figure. Yeah, my figure is very stiff. I don't really move him that much, so I usually just have him pose like that, more or less. Alright, his arms. These shoulder pads up here, they do move up and down like this. So that does help, so you can get his arms kind of up like that if you want. They go down. This is a ball joint piece, and let's look at the sculpt right there. See, they even put the detail work in there, even though most of the time you're not going to see it. So they went the extra mile with that. It is on a bicep swivel right there. And then the other joint is right about there. And it's a smaller joint that only goes up about that far. Again, there's a joint, that's about how far it goes up. It doesn't go up that far because he's got a bulky bicep, which is acceptable. There we go. And no, I did not just break my figure. It's just because the joints are very stiff, because I don't really mess with the joints on the figure. I pose them in one way and I leave them there. Alright. He has, for his wrist, it can go up about that far. It can go back about that far. And he has this big, giant hand with 3 fingers. I think it's supposed to be 5, and this is supposed to count as 2 fingers. The thumb is articulated. This finger's articulated. That finger's articulated. So if you want to be, you know, funny, you can put him in a pose like that. And then you can also put that. Alright. So that hand is articulated. The other hand is, just get him in the camera view, sorry for the movement around, is the same exact way. 1, 2, 3. So the hands are, you know, he doesn't make a fist. You can kind of get him like that, and I guess right there is where his like repulsor blast is supposed to come out of. It's not like the other Iron Mans where, you know, his hands will flip up, and you know, you can see the repulsor blast in his palm. On this one, they're supposed to be like right about there, so you can kind of do like that. Like I said, this Hulkbuster is a bigger figure. For a scale difference, I don't actually have a really decent Hulk. The only Hulk I have is the Walmart exclusive Hulk, and I think I've got the Marvel Select Hulk. I haven't picked up the face-off Hulk yet. That's one of my next pickups I'm going to grab. So for scale purposes, I'm just going to show him against a regular 6-inch Marvel Legend I have handy. And this is actually one I just got recently, so I'm just going to, you know, I just grabbed this one real quick, which is Elektra. So, Elektra comes up to just about the chest plate, you know, and they're standing kind of firm like that. So, as far as scale-wise, he's big. You know, he can definitely face off against the Hulk, which is great. Okay. Now, I'll do one more scale comparison, and this one is going to be the series, the original Vision. Again, Vision, just right there. So I mean, Hulkbuster Iron Man is definitely a larger figure. He's definitely a what I would consider a must-own pickup. All right, and if you guys don't have him, make sure you guys are, you know, post a message on the forums. Maybe someone's got them that, you know, doesn't want them anymore and they want to kind of trade for them. I know a couple of the people on the forums right now are looking for this guy right now, so definitely do that. If you have him and you don't want him anymore, do that. Again, just real quick, one last look. Let's look at the head sculpt. I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit. I mean, that's amazing detail that they put into that head. They didn't have to do that. They could have left this as one piece. And this is what, you know, the older Marvel Legends have. They have those extra, they went the extra mile for them. So, again, this is US Agent 27 from the MUCollectorClub.com forums, and I would definitely say Hulkbuster Iron Man is a definite must-own Marvel Legend. If you don't have him, go out and get him. Alright, thanks guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for more videos. and we'll catch you on the next round.